You don't have the mic, India.
Hello, Trojan fans. Welcome to another edition of Tunnel Vision. I am your host, India. I was wondering why I was so late. I am your host, India Otto, a.k.a. Automatic, here alongside Mr. Triple Double, Connor Morrissette, and the boss man himself, Ryan Abraham. We're here on this beautiful Thursday. We are going to discuss what the Trojans need to do to beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Saturday.
Yes.
And preview the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as well. We are taking live calls. The number to call is 512-4TUNNEL. And as always, we're live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Please leave your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. I will be sure to favorite it, and we will get to it at the end. Guys, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you, India. Thanks, Connor, for the, hey, you need the microphone.
Yeah, I was like,
thing.
I'm sounding real quiet.
In the chat, yeah, so if you're going to put comments in the chat on YouTube or Facebook, India will be able to star any questions, and she can put like your funny comments and stuff up on the screen. Someone said the audio was messed up, but that might have just been
It was me. It was me, guys.
So hopefully let us know if it sounds okay. But yeah, we're back. Another edition of Tunnel Vision. Should be a fun one. We're going to preview USC and Notre Dame. USC number 13. I'm sorry. Notre Dame number 13. USC number 20. Going on the road, the Trojans haven't won in South Bend since 2011. 9.5-point underdog, which seems insane to me. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be that. We'll see. Crazy things happen in football games. Should be a lot of fun. We'll be heading out there early tomorrow morning. So that should be an interesting one. But another flight to Chicago. We've had Chicago flight, Indianapolis, and now Chicago again. A lot of travel. USC gets a bye week after this one. But this is a big one. I think last week versus Michigan, it was do or die. Like you needed to win that game or the season was going to start circling the drain. You know, it just wasn't going to go well if you lose at home to Michigan after losing in a disappointing fashion to Illinois, where you were on the road, but as a touchdown favorite. This is more, to me, about upside. This is like you expect to go on the road to a top 15 team and lose, but you can go on and beat Notre Dame, and now the whole prospect of the season changes. The two ones you circled were at Notre Dame, at Oregon. If you go 1-0 to start that two-game stretch. There's other tough games and stuff, too. You can't ignore any of them, especially we've seen some crazy stuff happen in college football. But if USC goes 6-1 and one of those is a win at number 13 Notre Dame, you're talking college football playoff. You're talking potential Big Ten championship. There's a lot on the table if that happens. And I don't think the goal was like, hey, you want to make the Big Ten championship or anything. But if you can go 10-2 and get in the college football playoff for the first time, I think that's a really big deal. This is, to me, even though USC is a fairly big underdog in this one, I think it's a fairly winnable game for the Trojans if they go on the road and play well. But for me, this is more about an upside game than the sky is falling if they lose.
I definitely think they have a chance. And Ryan, we might need you to turn down your mic a tad. I think you're coming in a little hot. So I don't know, India, if you want to put the camera on me for a second and let Ryan work his magic, or maybe not.
I can just move it a little further away.
Okay, a little further away. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm deathly afraid of the weather on Saturday. That is what's preventing me from picking USC outright. The fact that there's a 99% chance of rain Saturday night, very breezy. I think that favors Notre Dame with Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price. I know they have some offensive line injuries, but if you tell me it's going to be a weather game or running and defense is going to make the difference, USC has one of the best passing attacks in the country, and I'm nervous that the weather's going to limit that. So that's really the only reason why I don't feel great about USC. Everything else, there's a lot to like about this matchup, where Notre Dame, their slot corner, Devontae Smith, is hurt, so who the heck's going to cover Mekhi Lemon? Gabriel Rubio in the middle, their big defensive lineman, is out for this game. They just lost their starting center. I think C.J. Carr is good, but D'Anton Lynn should be able to confuse a redshirt freshman at times. I think the Notre Dame receivers are talented, but I don't look at someone outside of their tight end and say, oh, man, that's a really scary matchup for USC. Like, if it was a neutral field inside, weather wasn't a factor, I think USC would potentially be able to outscore Notre Dame. But when you put the weather into this equation, I am just really afraid to go out on a limb and say USC has enough to get it done. The rain, the wind scares the hell out of me, and I was all ready to come in and say I like USC this week. I'm going to pick them to win. I think you feel similarly, Ryan, but when I looked at the forecast, 99% chance of rain Saturday night on AccuWeather.com.
AccuWeather.
Periods of thunderstorms potentially.
It must be accurate.
Yeah. A lot of wind. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
It's the Midwest. We were out there for the Purdue game, and it was supposed to be sunny and 85 degrees, and we got a 3-hour lightning delay.
Yeah, but then the weather stopped, and the weather was fine. Like, the rain stopped as well, not the weather.
We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen, but I would counter with this. This isn't some USC passing game where Jade Mayava is sitting back there and throwing 40-yard bombs, and what we saw against Michigan, the screen game, some of the quick passing stuff that was going on, getting the ball out quickly. I don't think that's something that a little bit of rain is going to just completely shut that down. I trust, Jade Mayava's been making some really good decisions. Now, Notre Dame's got like 11 interceptions on the year.
Really good secondary.
Really good at turning the ball over, and that was something that was a problem, obviously, last year. I think for Jade Mayava, he knows he threw 2 pick sixes when you were down 7 and driving on a team that went to the national championship game. And we just seen him do a much better job of taking care of the football. And yeah, rain can be a bit of an issue, but I don't see it as something that it's going to ruin this team. I mean, you have your 3rd or 4th string running back, King Miller, comes in and runs for 158 yards against a really tough Michigan team. I feel pretty confident that USC is going to be able to run the ball. Brian Jackson, I think we both think is a really good player, and he came in and showed what he could do. So I feel like they're going to still be effective running the football, and I don't see it completely just some water falling out of the sky shutting down USC's passing attack. USC's averaging 8.3 yards per play. It's the highest total. It's the highest of anybody. And it's the highest in like the last 7 years. Like no one's done that before. So this is an elite offense, and they showed it, against a bunch of different teams. Yeah, there were some cakewalk teams early, but Michigan's legit. Like that's a legit defense, and I think Notre Dame's is better. But I don't see it as something that USC is going to go from punting 1 time a game to like 4 or 5 in this one. So I feel like USC is going to be able to move the football. The way Lincoln Riley's been calling these games has been, elite level. It's just, this looks like those kind of offenses. So, maybe the weather has something to do with it, but I don't feel like it's going to derail the USC's passing attack.
I don't think it derails it or it ruins the team by any stretch, but when you're a 9.5-point underdog on the road, I think that's enough to be the difference between a win and a loss potentially. This is a game where I kind of feel like I think USC has some advantages, as I've explained, but like, that's a big advantage to Notre Dame to me, where if it becomes a game where it's just run and defense, then I like the Irish. But I'm with you. Like, I don't think USC is in any major trouble. Like, I think it's going to be a close game. The 9.5 to me seems way too high, so I'm with you on that. I think it'll come down to a field goal situation. I don't understand that line still, but just the weather makes me nervous, and how does that, play into a USC offense that's been so explosive? Like, that's definitely something that they can still be explosive, but maybe not as explosive. And when you're a 9.5-point favorite on the road, I kind of feel like you need all the help you can get with some of the stuff like weather and injuries. I think they're really going to miss Wayman Jordan this week, but we'll see. King Miller certainly looked good against Michigan, but Jordan, the ability to run tough, not that Miller doesn't, but the ability for Jordan to get the 4th and 1 when you absolutely need it. We haven't really seen King Miller do that yet. Not his fault. He's the 4th string guy, and he's been fantastic. But Wayman Jordan's a damn good running back, and I do think in this game he'll be missed.
Yeah, and I think if you look at both defenses, it's one of those situations where statistically they're actually fairly close, ranked near now, but they've had kind of a different tale. USC had a couple rougher games. Illinois only punted 1 time. That was a road game. They gave up some points and stuff to Purdue, but Notre Dame gave up points to Purdue as well. Since that second half of the Purdue game, I think Notre Dame's defense has played a lot better. They're really hard to run on, but when you look at the average of all 6 games, they're fairly close. And Notre Dame's offense is good too. It's like a top 10, I think, in yards per play, or number 10 in yards per play. But USC's number 1. Like USC's offense is elite. I think if you look at the defense is pretty close and USC's offense as better, I mean that should tell you a lot. It's are you putting it all into it's a road game and they're not going to play as well and all that. I don't know. I think USC can go out and play a good game. They've had 2 road games where one was a 3-hour lightning delay and one the food poisoning gate or whatever, all that stuff. At the end of the day, whatever happened, you were missing your best defensive player and there was some weird stuff going on. And if you can go to South Bend and just have sort of like a relatively normal outside of like some rain, I like USC's chances in this one. But I think defensively is because we saw the Texas A&M game. We saw Miami put up a bunch of points on this defense and switching defensive coordinators. You go from Al Golden to Chris Ash, but I think you talk to Notre Dame people and they're like, we're a different defense now. And it's different. And the competition got a lot. You were playing top 5 teams and now you weren't. But Arkansas had a good offense. These teams had pretty good offenses, most of them. So I'm curious to see how well they can do against this offense. But none of those offenses are like USC's. It's an elite offense, and the balance that they've had and the way Jade Mayoff has been able to run it with the RPO game and making good decisions. I like that USC is going to be able to score in this game. Now we'll see if they go out there and they're a bunch of 3-and-outs. We just haven't seen that from this USC offense. That's a terrible sign. If that happens, USC's not winning this game. But if the offense still moves the ball like they've been doing, or something close to that, I like USC's chances a lot. I think a lot of people are coming in here thinking that this defense is going to hold USC to 24 points. I'm not seeing that.
I might, just because of the weather stuff. But I'm with you, Ryan, that I like the spot for USC, and I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I'm picking Notre Dame to win this game. But, I watched the full Notre Dame-NC State game from the week before, and I was not all that impressed, especially with Notre Dame's offense, where they had 2 red zone turnover on downs, maybe 1 turnover on downs, 1 pick, but they just weren't very efficient in the red zone. NC State's defense really did a nice job in that first half. Then in the second half, NC State really struggled to move the ball. Got to give Notre Dame credit, even though it's been against 3 inferior opponents. In the second half, defensively, these last 3 games, they've been dynamite, so they've made some really good adjustments. But I do think USC's offense is good enough, certainly, to keep this one close, but I just get nervous about that weather situation, and it sounds like you think that won't have a play in this at all, and I just feel like, how can it not when USC hasn't had a weather game this year yet? I mean, the Purdue game, it didn't rain during the game. It rained before.
3-hour lightning delay.
Yeah, but it didn't rain during the game.
And they had Purdue has the best irrigation field system, so all the water was gone. So
nice.
Thanks, India.
You're welcome. It's true.
Sorry, I don't want to gang up on the boss.
They said on the
You're both fired.
on the they said on the broadcast that it was the best field system for rain in the entire country. All the rain was gone from the field, so they also didn't have that in effect when they played. So never know. I don't know how Notre Dame's irrigation field system when it rains.
They get plenty of rain over there. There's also 2 sort of, usually when USC goes on the road, there's these small factors that kind of go against them, and there could be the weather, obviously the travel, the time change. And this is a trip that they are super familiar with, so that's a little bit better. It's not like you're going to, wherever you're going to, West Lafayette for the first time. This isn't new. The Chad Bowden thing is interesting to me, and Lincoln Riley was asked about it, I think, on the Zoom today.
That is a good point too.
Right. So the fact that Chad Bowden wouldn't talk about it tells me there's something there. If there's nothing there,
of course there's something there. He knows all those returning guys.
Yeah, he knows a lot about
and the new guys. He recruited all of them.
We saw Purdue actually play pretty well, and you had Josh Henson, over there, and how was they? No one really stifled USC's run game at the line of scrimmage except Purdue for a little while. I feel like the Chad Bowden thing. And it doesn't seem like there's any love lost there. I don't think the people at Notre Dame were super happy that he left. And Chad Bowden the dude's serious. He wants to win. I think there's some advantages there. And then we were on Tunnel Vision. We talked to Bishop Fitzgerald this past week, during the week. And his former team, the one he played on last year, played Notre Dame last week, and so he admitted that he talked to some guys and he gets some insights and stuff. So I think there's these little factors too that could come into play here. I didn't think USC was going to cover against Michigan. I just felt like, okay, the Illinois game explained a lot to me, but to me now it's looking more like that Illinois game was more of the exception than the rule. And if they get back to it and it's not the exception, it's like that's what they're going to do against good teams on the road. I mean, that's not a good sign for this team. But my sense is just watching this team play, I think the defense is playing better. You got another freshman quarterback for the second week in a row. Now, CJ Carr's better, I think, at this point.
Redshirt freshman, too. Not a true freshman.
He's not a true freshman, but he's a redshirt. But the offense is so freaking good. I bring up punting all the time. I was on CBS Sports this morning, like the CBS whatever, the HQ, and did a segment with Tim Priester from Irish Illustrated. And I'm like, that last segment where we talk about who's going to win, I'm like, we don't talk enough about punting here. But one thing, USC doesn't punt. Like, they punted 7 times in 6 games. Like, it's insane. And I think 2 of them are garbage time punts. Like, there was a garbage time punt against Michigan that wouldn't have been like, when you just don't punt the ball and you're not like turning it over or going 0 for 6 on 4th downs or anything, like, there's a lot of stuff going right on offense. And they just seem to, week after week, have a whole lot of things going right on offense. And, the Purdue game, they still moved the ball. They just couldn't finish in the red zone. And, USC's been good at playing red zone defense when they give up like the whole field and then they kind of turn over or something when it comes out. Notre Dame's been bad at that too. So like something that's a strength on the USC side, like maybe they move the ball, but they can't finish drives. I just feel like my gut is USC's going to go in and win this game. So I don't know, completely could be wrong, but that's the feeling I got right now.
I get it. And that point about Chad Bowden is a good one because we saw Josh Henson have a good impact on what Purdue wanted to do because he was so familiar with USC, and I think that certainly applies here to USC Notre Dame. And then on the flip side, Notre Dame's new defensive coordinator, Chris Ash, that guy stinks, I think. I don't trust him. So I get,
they're playing much better.
Yeah, they're playing better. They've figured some things out. But, I mean, the new defensive coordinator, they have 2 hard games to start the year, returning a lot of key guys. They needed to win one of them, and the defense was pretty bad in both. So tough spot for him, but he's no Al Golden, that's for sure. Although, actually, Al Golden's doing all right tonight against the Steelers. So
he's the Bengals.
He's the Bengals DC. I think they're up 20-10. So they certainly miss him, and that is another reason to feel pretty good about USC. Not to beat a dead horse. This game was in a dome. It was in the Coliseum. I'd feel really good about USC, but this weather scares the crap out of me because I just think that favors Notre Dame. Those 2 running backs, I love King Miller, I love Brian Jackson, but if you're playing a weather game and it's going to be freezing and breezy and the passing game might be challenging to just
It's not
have.
freezing. It's like
At night, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be in the 50s, right?
Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price.
Okay.
Imagine the story, though, if King Miller and Brian Jackson lead USC to a win. I'm not trying to say it's impossible. I think USC still has a chance.
So you're
but
saying it's
this
impossible.
weather scares the crap out of me, and those 2 running backs are 2 tough guys. I almost said a swear. Two tough guys who USC saw firsthand last
Were you
year.
going to say hombres?
I was going to say MFs.
Wow. Okay, that would be.
What are the odds of a rain delay? Like a
People
delay
in the
in
chat
the
are
game?
saying it's happening, so I hope not.
Someone posted on the Peristyle like lightning's like I'm like okay, you can't predict lightning
Yeah,
like
you
3 days from now. Like it just.
Yeah, isn't it like you predicted it within minutes
I
or
mean,
something?
they barely can do that.
Yeah.
Like, weathermen, it's like raining outside, and they think
Right.
it's going to be sunny. So here's the one factor that you have, and I don't know if it's been in the chat, India, but maybe if it's come up.
Somebody said, Connor, it rains on both sides of the field.
I like that. But a bigger factor. This is a much bigger factor.
Oh, no.
I'm bringing the jacket. So
Hell yeah.
So the Cracker Barrel jacket. Yes.
That jacket is money.
That was
Nice.
purchased right before the only real Big Ten road win that the USC Trojans have in the history of college football, because they haven't had that many.
They're not playing a Big Ten team this week.
But it's still a Midwest team. It's a big deal.
Are you saying it's good luck?
You got do we still have the picture of the
Yeah,
jacket?
I just had it up.
I forgot about that. Oh,
I'll put it up again.
Look at that. Look at that jacket.
It's a good jacket. It's a good shade
it
of
was
brown.
rainy. Look at that. That's weather. They won in the weather.
Hopefully it brings luck.
The ground is all wet. Yeah, so the jacket's there. Someone, I don't know, you weren't here, India. Someone on our change their name to Ryan's Jacket or something?
No,
like
but
that?
I watched it and I saw
Yeah.
that. I laughed.
So I don't know if they're in the chat right now.
Let me look.
So the jacket's coming out.
I don't
and I
see
know it's not
Ryan's
like a
jacket.
rain jacket, so it'll probably just get wet. We'll see the quality of the Cracker Barrel jacket.
I mean, how hard is it going to rain? Like, what does AccuWeather say?
I don't know.
Someone in the chat said that that's not a good website, but then they also said that they live in South Bend and that the weather wasn't looking good. So I don't know what to believe. All I know is that I'm nervous about it. We're getting a lot of feedback in the chat, though, that this is turning into the Weather Channel. So we could probably get back into some of the matchups here. I would just say, too, if this does turn into a running contest and it's more of a ground and pound situation because of the elements, even when Texas A&M beat Notre Dame still did a pretty good job against the run. They've done a really nice job against the run pretty much all year, especially against NC State last week. Hollywood Smothers is a great running back for NC State, and they really limited him. Pulling up the Miami numbers here for Notre Dame. They've just done a nice job against the run, and if it becomes a situation where it's going to be a ground and pound game, that is something to certainly look into. USC's done a nice job against the run too, though, but I do think that when you have Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love on the other side, that kind of changes the equation. In the middle for Notre Dame's defensive line, as I said earlier, Gabriel Rubio is out, who's probably their best interior returning defensive lineman. So that
Could that have an impact?
that
Connor?
certainly has an impact too. But I don't know, Ryan. So what do you just think it's going to be? Maeva, Lemon, Lane, like the passing game looks the same, and USC outscores Notre Dame. Is that kind of your blueprint?
I think it's more of the offense still looks good. Like maybe they're not going to be as good. I think some of the issues that the offense has had has been more on the defensive side when USC wasn't punting, but like in the Illinois game, Illinois wasn't punting either. And so every drive was taking up like 6 minutes, and every opportunity you had to score. And USC ended up turning it over twice, and that really was their undoing. They can't turn the ball over. If they can play pretty clean, it just comes down to like, hey, if you're moving the ball, not punting, and Notre Dame gets a few punts, like you're probably gonna win the game. But I like the way USC's kind of had a balanced attack. Jaden Mayav is really good when teams have to blitz. This is a team that sets up the run with the pass, so they kind of get linebackers backing up a little bit, and then they can spring runs. And I think the way Lincoln Riley's calling the games it's just working really well. Like when you see screen passes, not just the running backs, but like some of the tunnel screens for the wide receivers, like they're set up well, there's blocking, and it just seems to be like the right call at the right moment against the right defense. And I just don't see that all going away once you're playing the Fighting Irish. No, we'll see. But we've seen this defense, earlier in the season give up a bunch of points, and I don't know. They haven't seen an offense like this, like no one has, because it's like really freaking good. And so I think they're going to be able to still move the ball and get score in the 30s, and then it's just going to come down to, do you think Notre Dame's going to do that? If USC scores in the 30s, I don't think Notre Dame's covering this game. I mean, they beat Purdue like 59-30 or whatever it was, something crazy like that. But I feel like this is a situation that USC's offense is still going to have success. Like if they don't, I'm going to be pretty surprised. I think it'll be kind of concerning too, because that's been the one consistent. Like that's the best unit in this game. So I'm going to put my chips behind the best unit in the game.
I think they'll have success too, but I don't expect them not to punt. I think we'll see more punts than we have. Illinois' defense is not good, and USC made them look bad all afternoon in that game.
I mean, Michigan's defense is pretty good.
Michigan's defense is pretty good. I'll say that. I think, look at this point spread. Like, what does that tell you about what Vegas thinks about Michigan? How Notre Dame is favored by 9.5. I don't think Vegas thinks much of Michigan after that game. Lincoln Riley totally outplayed, outcoached. Like that was amazing what USC did, and their defense is good. And we talked about it before that game, how if that one was close, we felt like Michigan's defense would be able to keep it close, and that just didn't happen. But I think it's a different challenge this week, especially being on the road, especially down Wayman Jordan. I know it's a running back and they're replaceable, but I think you're really going to miss him this week, as I've continued to say. So we'll just have to see.
We will see. We got 2 calls already.
Live caller time.
5124 Tunnel. Looks like we have Nick in Dallas to start us off.
Hey, how you guys doing? Fight on. Yeah, I was just calling you guys. I was looking at the line, Ryan, and I think it's like 9.5 or 10. That's a lot. I'm sorry, that's a lot. Either you're disrespecting USC, or you really don't think Michigan's that great of a team, if not both. My take on this is I'm really not worried about the offense. Offense will be fine. My take is on the defense. It is on D'Anthony Lynn. They play sound defense. Now, front four is legit. They're going to be coming after that going to quarterback, and they're going to be ready, whether it's rain, cold, or just breezy weather. And I think they're not going to cover. I think we're going to win the game. If they just offense just take care of the ball, but the defense just stops the run. Because I think Lincoln knows we all know what kind of team Notre Dame is. Just like last year's game. And I think last year's game too, I'm pretty sure Maeva knows about that. I think he threw like two quick picks for 2 pick sixes, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. I'm just thinking from the defense perspective, if we just go and stop the run, because I've seen Notre Dame this season. It's almost like they get to like these slow starts. But, offense will be fine. Let's go in, defense will be fine. Stay disciplined, stop the run, and let's not have any dumb penalties. But I think we'll be okay. I'm expecting a Notre Dame victory. And last before I go, I understand about Jordan being hurt. I'm kind of mad about that, but it's just part of the game. But I don't care who's running the ball. The way Lincoln Riley's calling that offense, I don't see them stopping the USC offense. It's all about defense. Defense plays their game, stay disciplined. I'm expecting a Trojan victory, and fight on.
All right, Nick, thanks for that.
He agrees with you.
He's a very smart man, I think.
I think USC will move the ball on offense and will have success and will score, but I don't think it's going to look like Illinois where did they even punt once in that game?
They punted once.
They had the one punt, and then it was the Maeva turnover, and then at the end of the game they got the 3 touchdowns right in a row. Against Notre Dame, who's made really good second half adjustments, I just have a hard time seeing USC score 3 touchdowns on their last 3 drives. But hey, I've been wrong before. I just think due to a whole bunch of factors, we're going to see some regression from the offense. Not anything crazy. Like I can still see them getting to 28 for sure. I'm not trying to say like they're going to be totally stymied, but there's some things working against them this week, and I expect a few more punts.
All right, we got another one. This one, let's see.
The 609 number, you're on.
Oh, it's Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
India, Connor, Ryan, thanks for taking my call. I guess there's no chance they can move the game up now that predicting some bad weather, especially second half. I can't see. I don't want another delay. That affects me on the East Coast here. I don't really watch the game past midnight. You know what I'm saying? You have these reports. You have the technology. I know the money is the first thing that's most important. We're going to have Jackson for a full game rather, and Miller, of course. Will we see any of Dalton, the third? Will he get in some carries there? I love to see him. He looks like he's going to be a dynamic player for us. And I just want to see Maeva and McCallum putting up the numbers, keeping up the race for the Heisman. Because I know the pressure is on Indiana with Mendoza and, of course, Beck, but I don't believe in Miami. I'm hoping Beck will stumble a few games for the Heisman race. I know I'm always about numbers and offense. I just hope it's a good game and get the game in on time.
Thank you, Mitch. So his question
Mitch.
at first was about the other running backs outside of King Miller and Brian Jackson, and Lincoln Riley said today that all 4 healthy running backs who are on scholarship will travel, so that includes true freshman Riley Wormley, who hasn't played yet this year because he's been coming back from a knee injury, and Harry Dalton, who played in 1 game but has been out the last couple of weeks due to injury. Those guys are available, Lincoln Riley said, so expect a heavy dose of Miller and Jackson, and maybe a third guy if God forbid something happens to one of the first 2 running backs, then I imagine would see one of those true freshmen. I have a hard time thinking that the true freshmen are a big part of the game plan, Ryan, but I do think they're going there for a reason. They're available, and if they're needed, they're going to be needed.
All right, we got another call. I think this is Paulie. Man, as soon as we drop a call, they'll get another one. So we
Yeah.
can only have two in there.
Hello.
Is this
Hello,
Paulie?
India, and hello. Hello, India, and hello, gentlemen. How are you? Listen, I'll make this really quick. I feel the way the team's playing. I feel Lincoln's dialed in when it's coming to his play calling. I've been so impressed with his play calling this year. But in particular, you could set aside, all these keys to victories and all this stuff. It's just going to be an old-fashioned, just knockout, USC, Notre Dame type of game. But the one thing I see that's going to happen a little differently, in my opinion, I honestly feel confident enough in our offense, which is clicking on all cylinders. It's a pretty special thing to watch, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to come out and make them play from behind. And it's going to change the game up quite a bit for us. And this is a chance for Jaden to really catapult himself to that next level. I mean, it's there for the taking. I mean, granted, I don't know if he, of course I want us to stay balanced and play, but if there's an opportunity where Jaden has to put the team on his back, I am all in. I'm Jaden's. And Jaden, we trust, man. I believe in him, and I also feel for some reason I feel Bishop's going to have a huge game as well. I look for him to make an impact in the secondary. I look for our front to put some pressure on Carr and maybe get Bishop in a situation where he can make a big play. But also look for Walker Lyons. I think he's a mismatch nightmare for these linebackers. The route running is just on another level when it comes to Walker Lyons, and so I look for the tight ends to play well as well. So anyway, listen, you guys, everyone enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care and fight on.
Thanks, Paulie. There's 3 guarantees in life. I'm older than you guys. I'm gonna share it. Like there's death, there's taxes, and then when someone says this is gonna be quick, it's never quick. That's the third thing.
That was a good call.
No, it was a good call, yes. But it was funny. Like there was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a quick one, and then there's like 10 things you want to discuss and stuff. But he did it it was very tight, Paul.
Very
it was
succinct.
good. But
Good job, Paul.
it definitely was longer than short. But that's okay. But that happens. That's just like kind of life. You like that one, India?
Yeah, that's good. Those are 3 good keys.
I do see a lot of hype for CJ Carr, which I get it. He's having a nice year so far in his second season. He certainly looks the part, but I definitely agree with Paulie. If this is a classic quarterback battle, and that's how this game will play out, as I've explained, I don't think it will. But if it is that, how can you not like USC's chances with Jade Mayava? He's been arguably the best quarterback in college football so far this year. He's had an exceptional season. Carr has had some growing pains, understandably, because he's a younger guy. If it is a QB duel, I like USC, but I don't think it's going to be that.
Brady Quinn said,
CJ
Carr is the best in the country.
I don't understand that. I guess he's has his audience, but
Yeah.
look, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but watch the Boise State game. Watch the NC State game. He had some pretty high level mistakes, like I guess low level mistakes. Some impactful mistakes. He's good, but they're getting a little carried away with him.
Yeah. No, I think there's a situation where like Luke Altmaier was sort of like iffy, and then when he played USC, he looked great. Like you can't let that be. Like you can't let this be a coming out game. And I think you couldn't let it be for Bryce Underwood, and it wasn't. You have to have something similar, I think, against CJ Carr. All right, I got Big E from Minnesota. Are we unmuted there?
We are now.
Nice. Big E, you're on Tunnel Vision.
Hey guys, how we doing this week? Hope everybody's doing good. I had 2 things for you quick. First, compliments to you guys on a great interview with Bishop Fitzgerald. I must have watched that safety blitz stack like 30 times this week. Just an incredible disguise and really changed the tenor of the game against Michigan. So good to see him get some props this week. I wanted to ask you guys, in some of the chatter that I've heard from the Notre Dame side, they're thinking about maybe having somebody shadow Makai Lemon for the entire game. Is that something that can really happen? Is that something that we think they might use with Notre Dame secondary, or how do we think we're going to see, what kind of coverage we think Makai might see this week? Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Great question. I've seen
Big E.
some discussion on that too. So the elephant in the room is their starting slot corner, Devontae Smith. He didn't play last week, and he's questionable, I think, going into this game. And it's my understanding that the depth in the slot for them outside of Smith isn't very good. So maybe does that leave Leonard Moore to play more on the inside, even though he is an outside corner, or Christian Gray? I think if Devontae Smith isn't available, I don't see one guy just shadowing Lemon, and the two corners who Leonard Moore is one of the best corners in the country, so maybe he is on Lemon, but I could see him sticking with Lane more, and I could see them double teaming Lemon or attempting to with a slot guy and then maybe a linebacker or another safety. We'll see what the game plan calls for, but I don't know if with Smith out, if Notre Dame has a guy who they can just say, okay, we're going to put you on Lemon the whole game, good luck. I don't think they're set up that way.
All right. We got two
Oh,
more
my
calls in the
goodness.
queue. Holy cow. They just keep coming in.
It's like a waiting room.
I think this is Carol. Carol, you're on Tunnel Vision.
Hi, this is Carol Mosley from Ohio. Hey, I am so impressed with King Miller. You guys can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
loud and clear.
Us too.
Oh, okay. And his physicality, I think we have a great chance with that. Considering that USC has, I think we're just so more well-rounded than Notre Dame. And the rain may affect us, but hey, the rain's going to affect those two running backs too. And I think we have a lot of potential for us to get this game going. I think everybody's underestimating us, and the fact that our offensive line has been doing great, and they're going to be missing their center. So I'm very hopeful that we we can replicate what we did in Michigan. And I know you don't like to hear the food poisoning deal, but you felt the energy of the team in Michigan that just was too lackluster. That game's late, much later. USC is going to play great. Fight on, USC.
All right. Thanks, Carol. Appreciate that one.
They definitely look better against Michigan, no denying that. I do think a huge part of that was the challenge that the coaching staff presented and just the 2 weeks of stewing in that Illinois loss. That can be pretty powerful. And Riley over the years is really good after a loss and a bye. I think he's 5-0. That's a stat that Chris had. So certainly the response was great. And as for his point about King Miller, it's hard to bet against him right now. I totally understand the call, and I do think USC does have some advantages on the offensive side of the ball, but I've made my claim pretty clear, so I don't want to keep talking about how I think USC is doing such a great job. They are, and I think they have a chance, but I don't know if they'll have a great one this week.
All right. We got Alan in St. Louis on the line, and this is showing it's his 10th call into
Wow.
the show. Alan, you there?
Sorry, I don't mean to be a stalker, but it kept giving me the busy signal. Apologize, guys.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah.
All right. Don't worry, Ryan. I'll make this quick.
Which means you won't.
All right, two quick things. First, seriously, this is going to be the third trip to basically the same 100-mile radius. If you look at just Lafayette and Champaign and South Bend, I think the guys are going to hopefully be more acclimated this time around, so maybe there's a little diminishing returns on the travel issues. That's point one. Two, Connor, you watched the games. I watched the Notre Dame games too, so I'm interested in your take here. When I watch the Notre Dame games, they seem really soft up the middle on both offense and defense. Like, they don't give up a lot of yards for the run, but when they do give up yards, it seemed like it was up the middle, and they seem to be giving up a lot of pressure up the middle too. So with the nose tackle, starting nose tackle, and center gone, I'm just wondering if you saw the same things I did, if that can possibly be another upside for USC. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alan. It was about a minute. Pretty good. I think he did a good job
Concise.
with that one.
When I look back at the NC State game, I don't remember a ton of NC State success up the middle on offense, so maybe there was more there against Boise State. But on the other side of the ball, that's definitely something I noticed, where when C.J. Carr would get in trouble, especially on some of the red zone plays that went awry for Notre Dame, that pressure was right in his face right away that came from the middle. So maybe this is a big Jakeem Stewart game. Look for him to potentially take advantage of that, especially if Notre Dame's center, not especially if, especially because Notre Dame's center is out. Knapp or he's left tackle Knapp, I think, but the center got hurt.
Yeah.
Craig, I think is his name.
And he was hurt last year, and the backup is now at Indiana.
Yeah,
like,
Coogan.
so like he was, so like, you know, you had someone that was good enough to back him up last year,
And he's good. He played a lot in the Coogan, the backup. He played a lot down the stretch when they had an injury.
Yeah, but now he's starting for Indiana, and now what do you do? So yeah, like it's
They have some sophomore I saw, so we'll see if he's good. But yeah, I think that's certainly a spot where with Devin Tompkins, with Jade Abasiri, two guys who had great games against Michigan, Jakeem Stewart, who at least for one play per game breaks through that offensive line and gets a tackle for loss. That's certainly an area where USC can make life difficult for Notre Dame, and that's definitely something I noticed too. So appreciate the call, Alan.
yeah. All right, I think that's all. We cycled through all the calls, so that was nice. Whew. Is there anything else we want to talk about with this game, or should we do some comments and stuff and see if we get more?
Well, do you remember last year how USC was just attacking Christian Gray, the corner, attacking him, and then he had the first pick six, so he kind of had the last laugh. But like clearly that was a matchup where Lincoln Riley said, I don't think this corner is very good. And for like 90% of the game, he was correct. He got abused against USC until, again, he had that pick six. So he's a huge part of Notre Dame's defense, and he's gotten a lot better. He was kind of baptized by fire last year, but I'm wondering if Lincoln Riley says, hey, I remember him from last year. We took advantage of him last year, and that is somewhere that they look to exploit because Leonard Moore on the other side is talented. And not to say that USC won't be able to exploit him, but I do think Christian Gray, there's kind of a weakness there, and there might be a weakness too in the slot defending Mekhi Lemon. So we'll have to see.
It's raining though, so Christian Gray's going to be amazing.
He's going to be a Heisman winner.
Somebody did say in the chat though that it was going to be like 30-mile-per-hour winds or something.
Thank you. The winds, it's going to be crazy.
Who knows?
Yes.
But somebody also did say that it's a turf field, so it drains the water better than if it was real grass. So
It used to be real grass, like when the
Yeah.
20 years ago anniversary of the Bush.
bring back real grass.
I keep saying the tush
No more-
push because that's so prevalent now.
Yeah.
No,
No
the
more
Bush
turf
original one.
fields.
Yeah, and then this is also the last game on the schedule between USC and Notre Dame. Now I think they're going to redo it. You know, they're going to.
Are you still confident?
Somebody had a question about that.
Let's talk about that. That's a great
Do you want to pull up the
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
discussion
I'll put
point.
Somebody asked, let me see if I can find it. What is the latest on SC Neal asked, what is the latest? Oh, it's not coming up. On renewing USC versus ND series. Let's see.
They're still working on it. USC wants it earlier in the year.
Here we go. There it is.
Notre Dame doesn't want anything to change. USC offered a 1-year extension just while everything was kind of going crazy with college football. Notre Dame rejected it. But the biggest thing, Ryan, was the SEC before, they weren't playing the 9 conference games, but now they are, and they're making their teams play a 10th Power 4 team, right?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I don't know why USC, like I get it, they don't want to travel at the end of the year or in the middle of the year to play Notre Dame, but like, I don't know, the second the SEC went to 9, it was kind of my hope that they'd just say, hey, okay, SEC's playing by the same set of rules everyone else is now.
Yeah, but they can take buses to games.
Yeah, fine.
I have to interrupt. We have a
Oh, super chat.
super chat from Andrew. Ryan, can we get your favorite Irish Trojan moments?
Oh,
Thank you, Andrew.
okay.
Are we taking a timeout in the chat? Because I was yelling at you. Or a
Oh.
timeout in our chat?
You can yell, whatever.
No, it's okay. You do your moments first.
So, like when I was like a recent graduate and USC had lost like 11 of 12 or 12 of 13 or something. There was like a tie in there. And I believe it was like Mark Cassano got an interception. I think USC was down like 9, and there was like no way they were going to win the game. It didn't look like at all. And they came back and won. It's a long drought of not getting a win against Notre Dame. So that was like 96 or something. I don't know. You can correct me in the chat off the top of my head. So that was a good one. There was one, I think it was probably 2008 or 9, that a person that I was with has always wanted to go to, like a bucket list was like Notre Dame game and just wanted to hear the fight song. And I brought that person to the game, and I think USC won like 38-0. So they didn't get to play the fight song because they didn't score any points.
Oh,
Jeez.
So that was
dang.
kind of funny. And of course, 20 years ago, being in that stadium for the Bush push was pretty insane. The 4th and 9 play to Dwayne Jarrett, the sequence of events, and the schematic advantage and all that kind of stuff, and USC's long winning streak and coming off the national championship season and just the way that they were playing, it was pretty crazy. And Leinart fumbles out of bounds, but they get it back, and the students rush the field and feel like that the game's over, but it wasn't. And Reggie Bush pushes him, and Leinart's like way too standing upright for his sneak, and Reggie pushes him in. So there's a bunch of good ones from that. But I think ending that one streak, and then that I think it was 38-0 game. I'll have to look it up on top of my head, but it was around 2008, 2009, something like that.
Caleb Williams just about clinching the Heisman against Notre Dame that first year.
That was pretty good. Oh, and Carson Palmer, when he clinched the Heisman in 2002, when he beat Notre Dame, that was a really good one in the Coliseum.
I can't.
That
go
was
back.
number 4 versus number 5 or something.
I can't go back as far as you can, of
I'm
course.
old,
but
so.
that Caleb Williams one comes to mind. Although it's crazy that Notre Dame's quarterback that year was Drew Pine. Remember
Drew
him?
Pine, yeah.
He's on Bowling Green or something now. He's had a tough career.
Oh,
Misevaluation there.
Our buddy Blackie Chan got his question asked to Lincoln Riley on the Zoom today. Did you know that?
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, I didn't know. He just put in the chat, so that's cool.
Well, sorry, he kind of got a non-answer.
yeah.
He didn't really answer the question.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
What are some of your favorite moments outside of USC? Then he talked about living in LA and having his kids grow up here, which is a nice story. But I was looking for
An Oklahoma story or something.
just what does he like to do in LA? Like maybe we went to the beach and we did this. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky, but
I saw somewhere that he really likes In-N-Out or something.
who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
yeah, duh.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's-
back to what we were talking about, though. So
What were we saying?
when the SEC went to 9 conference games and the 10th game against the Power 4,
Yeah.
so I get why USC doesn't want to play the game later in the year, and it's worth fighting over that. But
Yeah. Notre Dame needs it more than USC.
I don't
Why
think
would you-
I don't think either team needs it though. Notre Dame
Notre
they'll
Dame
play
needs
someone
it.
else. They'll play someone else. They don't. They're Notre Dame. They'll find someone else to play.
Was it Navy again, or what do you want to do?
Maybe then they'll probably win and they'll probably go to the playoff. They got to figure it out.
They need USC this year because they lost. They had 2 really good teams. They lost to them both. They needed USC to be good. It was helped that USC beat Michigan last year.
But I push back on neither team needs the other one. I agree that it's more beneficial for Notre Dame, but they don't need USC. If that game goes away, they'll schedule someone else.
I think that's.
But what do you mean they need them? So it goes away like what? They're just
think it's
Notre
easy.
Dame's never going to do anything again.
I mean, how many SEC teams are going to schedule that game? It's tough. I think now, they're going to do 9 conference games. Do you want to add a Notre Dame? This is just something that's worked. I think, it's a negotiation. And I think USC, I think both obviously want to extend it. The people we talked to at USC, they're looking like, hey, we offered an extension. I think it was a 2-year extension, and Notre Dame didn't want to do it. They wanted to keep it like it was, and so I think it's all part of the negotiation. So I do think it's not going to go away, but USC's probably, as far as negotiations go, it might be on the saving face side. I think USC would get more flack, but if this goes away, who's screwed more? It's not like you're screwed, but it's going to hurt Notre Dame more than it would hurt USC, in my opinion.
I just don't think it totally hurts them if they play an easier game and they win. If Notre Dame has a good record, 10-2 or better, odds are that they're going.
Yeah,
to the
but
playoff.
if they're not playing quality opponents all the time, it's going to hurt. That's going to, and I think it's tough to get. You can get a couple. It was good to have Miami. It was good to have Texas A&M, and those are early on. And I get it why they wouldn't want to have USC in that. USC can be it's like a regular season game for them. Not a out of conference game. They don't have a conference, but. And it might put more pressure on Notre Dame, and they never want to join a conference, but it might put a little more pressure on. And I don't know if the Big Ten is being like, hey, don't acquiesce to what they want because we want to try to get them in the conference and stuff. And obviously, if Notre Dame joined the Big Ten, that would help USC a lot because it would be a permanent game on their conference schedule. But I don't see that happening at all. And you're tied to the ACC right now, which is. it's not a ship that's maybe it's listing a little bit. I don't know about sinking, but it's not a power two, and it's helping a lot that Miami's like really good this year. But Clemson falling off, that's not good. Florida State starts off good. I think they've lost like 3 in a row, so it's not. I do believe that Notre Dame needs this game more, and I think USC. It's as far as the fabric of college football, this is a major part of it. Colin Cowherd, friend of mine, he goes on these rants about that USC doesn't need it. Why would you play this game? And I disagree with him on that. I really want to see it coming. We don't have a college football czar. We don't have someone that's taking what's best for the sport, like Roger Goodell does for the NFL. What's best for the Shield? If it was like, I want to make sure the Raiders and the Chargers play every year, like he'll do that. He's going to do whatever he needs to do. We don't have anybody that's doing that. For Tony Petitti, it might be better for him that USC doesn't play Notre Dame because he's the commissioner of the Big Ten, because he eventually wants to get Notre Dame into the conference and he wants to put more pressure on them. So he's making decisions based on his fiefdom of the Big Ten, and you're getting the same thing in the SEC and the ACC and Brett Yormark and the Big 12. They're making decisions for what's going to keep their conferences alive, and then you have the same thing with the other conferences where the group of 6 are trying to still be relevant, and you're making decisions that maybe helps like Purdue and Rutgers, and does it help Vanderbilt or does it help Alabama? Like there's nobody looking at what's best for the entire sport, and clearly what's best for the entire sport is this long-standing rivalry that is unique, that expanded college football to be more of a national brand when you have long train rides from South Bend, Indiana to Los Angeles and back and forth, and Newt Rockne and Howard Jones's wives like coming together. Like there's so much history and so much that is great about the USC Notre Dame rivalry that the sport needs it. But we don't have anyone that's looking for the best interest of the sport. And when it comes down to it, I think Notre Dame still needs it more than USC. But it would be great if we had some kind of czar or something that said, okay, you two play nice, we're going to play it this way, or here's how we're going to compromise, because we need this game no matter what. We're not letting it get to the game's kicking off in 48 hours and we still don't have a game scheduled for 2026. Like, we're not letting that happen. Like, Roger Goodell would not let that happen, the equivalent in the NFL. So there's my rant on USC Notre Dame.
So unfortunately, there's no czar. Here's the sticking point. USC wants the game to continue, but early in the year. Notre Dame wants it to continue, same as it always has. If they can't come to an agreement, I think USC looks bad optically because you could just continue it. I get why they want it earlier in the year. They don't want another potential road game every other year when you have the strenuous Big Ten schedule. But, like, if they can't agree to move it early in the year and the game goes kaput, like, who do you blame?
I mean, I think it's both. USC is probably going to get more blame in, like, the national media, but I think even what happened before, like, we were told, like, hey, we offered an extension and Notre Dame said no. But so I think more stuff will come out and you'll hear, like, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff just for people to sort of, I don't know about save face, but I think both schools will end up getting blamed, like, hey, you need to figure this out. It has to, be a certain way. And maybe the home games for USC are still going to be, for Notre Dame USC, are still in November, but when USC goes on the road, it's an earlier game. I don't know, like, if there's some sort of compromise, but I get it.
Why can't they just keep it the same, though? If the SEC is going to 9 and then the 10th, it's kind of like Prop 50. Texas is doing this, we're going to do it. Well, what if Texas changes their mind? Then you don't have to do it anymore.
It's like too wrong,
Not
don't
to
make
bring
a right
politics
thing.
into it, I'm sorry.
Way to go bringing politics in. Holy crap. We're just going off the rails.
But you know what I mean? Like, okay, we're not doing this because the SEC isn't playing by our rules. Well, now the SEC is playing by your rules, so just keep doing what you're doing.
I think for USC, like, just for us doing the travel, like, we flew to Chicago, and then we flew to Indianapolis, and then we're flying to Chicago, or whatever. I don't even remember what order it was. I mean, that, like, in one of the callers said, it's like a 100-mile radius. You've been going a bunch of times. It's like, it would have been better if this Chicago trip was in September, and you didn't have to do it, with all
does that really make a difference?
I mean, I think it helps where you get it, like,
if it was week 1 I would give that to you. But like they play road games in September all the time. Like that'll just be more crowded just a little earlier, right?
I don't know. I think if you can get it out of the way early on, it helps. So you're not going like the kind of. I mean, there's going to be some really bad ones. I think USC's travel schedule hasn't been like awful. Like as far as when you had to go or coming off. This one is like you got Michigan and Notre Dame, but it's like surrounded by two byes. Like I think the Big Ten. Whatever they've done,
throw you a bone.
Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job trying to mitigate some of the issues there. But you can't know that there's going to be lightning for 3 hours in West Lafayette. Why are you saying North Platte? That's Nebraska. But yeah, so I feel it's just one of those things that USC can probably play chicken longer than Notre Dame. I think they can. But there will be a lot of pressure.
Why? I don't know.
They really want it to be earlier in the season.
No, but why can't Notre Dame play chicken?
Because they need it more.
Just that they won't be able to fill the game on their schedule? Like I totally disagree with that. They'll get someone else to play.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
But that doesn't need to be the same.
Without it being a conference, like USC has Indiana, which is good now. Like you're going to have Ohio State, you're going to have Penn State, you're going to have Michigan. Like there's a lot that USC has that they don't need another helmet game. Like they have enough helmet games being in the Big Ten. When they were in the Pac-12, I think USC needed the game more. Now they don't need it as much. They still, the sport needs it. I think USC needs it. I think Notre Dame needs it. But at the end of the day, I think USC is going to play enough good games if they drop Notre Dame. I think it's harder for Notre Dame to play enough good games if they drop USC. That's just my opinion.
If they win enough, though, I don't think that matters. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. Like, they need this really tough opponent. They'll get someone else.
I don't think they won't get a helmet game like that. That's what I think.
And if they win all their games, they'll still go to the promised land. You know what I mean?
I think though you're going down a slippery slope where there are people who are like, hey, do we really want this team that's going 12-0 every year playing cupcakes in the playoff? You should join a conference or something. And I don't think it's going to get to that, but
it's certainly good talk show fodder. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, it's good to talk about it.
I saw on social media, and I didn't delve into if it was true or not, but I saw something about Penn State was potentially going to go after Marcus Freeman for their head coaching job. Thoughts on this? How much longer do you think he'll be at Notre Dame?
Well, I think Kirk Cignetti just signed a huge deal or something, or was that made up?
He signed a $11.3 million deal for 9 years.
So he's a big name.
I think Penn State definitely came knocking for him, and he said, "Agent, get me a better deal."
We felt like that might not be the case. The Matt Rule thing, for sure. He was a linebacker there, and I think that's going to be real. I think there will be some teams that go after Marcus Freeman. I think Florida opens up. They'll probably go after him. There's, but I think he's got a great situation at Notre Dame. Like the people I've talked, I don't see that being a thing where it's definitely a destiny. Now, Brian Kelly left and I think he's the first one, right? The first Notre Dame coach to leave on his own for another job. Like that for programs like, Oklahoma, that doesn't happen. Like Lincoln Riley doesn't leave Oklahoma for a USC or something. It's really rare. I don't know. I forget. It never happened in 100 years, and then it happened twice in 2 days or something. I forget what the stat was, but it was something crazy that people don't leave blue blood jobs for another blue blood job, and then Notre Dame and Oklahoma had it happen back to back. So I don't see that happening again. I feel like he's a Notre Dame guy. He's got their they got their man, and my gut is that he wouldn't go, but I don't know. Do you feel differently?
I agree. Maybe Ohio State, if Ryan Day went somewhere else, Freeman being an Ohio State alum, that maybe would be a alluring job to him. But I might be wrong, so if the chat thinks I'm wrong or if I'm getting this wrong, let me know. But didn't his whole family change their religion to be Catholic when they got the Notre Dame job? Or maybe did I see that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think that's how deep in he is.
He's invested.
So yeah, but his name has definitely come up, India.
Yeah,
it's been a thing. And I think if you're Penn State, you have to knock on the I think it was might have been Andy. I don't know. Someone was talking like, yeah, call like Andy Reid. Like you got to just like
Call all the
don't be
best
this thing.
coaches.
Sometimes like the ads will
I don't
be
know
like,
if Andy Reid would.
I know, but like
a recruiter.
But you just have to show that like we're trying to get people. Like I think a lot of times the ads try to keep everything secret. Like no, we didn't talk to them. And I'm not sure why. Like yeah, we wanted to get Kirk Cignetti, and they like big deal. Like who wouldn't want to get Kirk? He's killing it. It's like it doesn't look bad on you. It's like hey, it's he's going to get a lot more money there. They're the team that brought him in, and he's built the culture the way he wants, and he could win 8 games for the next 10 years, and they're going to build a statue for him like already, but he's never getting fired from there. Where if he goes to Penn State and he wins 8 games the next 5 years, like they're going to run him out of town in 2 years, So they wouldn't bring him there to win 8 games. Like Indiana already made the playoffs. Like he's going to bowl games. Like, yeah, he's set the bar pretty high. They're not getting rid of him if he's going to go 8-4 every year. He's not going to. But, yeah, so, yeah, I think you got to go after some of the big names and see what they make them say no.
We can get back to USC in a second, but it is fascinating. Is Penn State going to hire someone better than James Franklin? Because I think there's like a 90% chance they hire someone the same or worse. It's hard to replicate what he did, even though he could never win the big game. Maybe they'll get someone who will win a big game here or there, but them getting to the playoff and winning Rose Bowls, like I do think there is a little bit in this sport where you kind of take stuff for granted sometimes. And I get it. They lost to UCLA. They lost to Northwestern. It probably was time to make a change. This year just exploded in their face. But he had a lot of success. He totally turned that thing around. And it's going to be interesting to see who they get, because Matt Rule came out today and was like, I'm going to be at Nebraska. That's the name that
Did he say that?
We all have to watch. I mean, he said it on McAfee, but like you can't trust these guys. We'll see what happens after the year.
If you're like standing up doing the interview, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But is Matt Rule necessarily better than Franklin? I get the allure with him, a Penn State guy, but
Franklin, I think, could do a really good job. Like I did the podcast of Champions. Keely would say plug yesterday with David Woods, and he was like he should take a year off, which I kind of agree, because he
should go take over at Wisconsin after Fickle gets canned.
But he would do really well. Like he's going to win a bunch of games if he goes somewhere else, like Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think it'd be
North
perfect
Carolina. There. If your boy Bill Belichick just gets run out of town.
They're busy in Saudi Arabia looking for money. Did you see that today?
No.
Mike Lombardi their GM went to Saudi Arabia looking for money to pay guys.
Holy crap. It's getting nuts out
here. They
here.
don't really know what's going on there.
But anyway.
He would do a great job at a lot of places. Like he at Vanderbilt, I think they've been nationally ranked like 3 times in 100 years, and 2 of them were under him, you know? So like when the USC job was open, or they were looking, like people were bringing his name up, and some USC fans were like, no. And then you look at what he did at Vanderbilt was like elite, like what he was able to do. Now
their coach now is good too.
They're doing a great job right now, but from history point of view, Indiana's like the most losing program in the history of college football, and they're like crushing things right now. So you can turn things around in this new world, but he's a really good coach. And if you're not at a blue blood that expects national championships, like he's won 30-something games in the last 3 years. Like it's crazy how much he's won. He would do an amazing job at some place that's struggling, and they wouldn't be struggling anymore. They would be winning. Now, are they going to go be a national championship team? No, but if you're at a place that's not expected, and you're going to like decent bowl games every year, like he would definitely still do that.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Shall we talk USC recruiting and today's
you want to do
commitment?
A quick one? Yeah, let's do a
quick one.
I'll let Connor handle this. I back out of recruiting unless I'm going to Hawaii.
Hold on, I'm caught off guard. I think, what is his name? Jaden Crowder from
Yep.
Santa Margarita,
Yep.
the corner.
Cal to USC.
Maybe a safety in the future, committed to USC today, and then USC also got a junior college corner to commit.
He was the top.
I'm forgetting his last name.
The top JUCO corner in the country. He's listed as a 3-star, but listening to Gerard, sounds like he could be a 4-star. To be the top corner in JC and not get
Jaquan Morris is the other.
Yeah,
guy.
not get that 4-star status, but I think they really like him. He seems legit, and another local kid. But they got like 7 DBs in the class of 2026. That's still ranked number 1, but 7 DBs is a lot.
I do think the JUCO kid Morris has a good chance to come in and compete for a job where Crowder seems like more of a project, but they love him, clearly. They got him to flip from Cal. There's a reason that they went after him. He just visited in that Michigan game, so certainly high on him as well. But when you're looking at guys to potentially compete next year, I think the junior college commit Morris will have a better shot.
Should we get into some questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. We've got our first question from Facebook. Thank you to our Facebook viewers. From Thomas, Bossman, and Trip Dubs. Would you hate if USC rotated Notre Dame and Stanford every year instead of playing Notre Dame every year?
I would hate that. Yeah. I think it's cool to play Stanford, but you got to play Notre Dame
both.
every year.
I agree. I'd like to see him play both.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We've got one question from Socrates. It's Domer week. Time to feast on that Irish D. Speaking of grub, what are your favorite Irish dishes? Mine are mashed potatoes, scones, shepherd's pie, and Lucky Charms.
I mean, Lucky Charms number 1, of course. No, like corned beef, like when you get, I like corned beef
Like
stuff.
corned beef hash? Is that Irish?
Breakfast. I think the corned beef stuff is more of an Irish thing, right?
I don't know.
But yeah, shepherd's pie is really good.
Okay, I had to Google if shepherd's pie was Irish. That's my favorite.
Shepherd's pie?
Yeah.
What's in a shepherd's pie again? It's like minced meat, right?
It can be like ground beef and then
Yeah.
potatoes and veggies and it's like a pie.
Peas and, yeah, pretty good. But I think corned beef, that's a good one.
Nice. I'll go mashed potatoes.
So someone in the chat, I put them in timeout just to be a kind of a jerk, but they're saying like USC's 4-10 in their last, so you can't bully Notre Dame. Like, this isn't about who's won games. This is a long history of a long rivalry.
It's a great rivalry.
It's a great rivalry. Like, just because Notre Dame's won more games recently doesn't mean that, well, they should have an upper hand. And this is negotiations between athletic departments, the president, like the chancellor, everything, like all what's going on at a very high level. USC wants the game moved earlier. Notre Dame doesn't want to. The facts are USC did offer an extension, and Notre Dame said no. So Notre Dame wants it a certain way. USC wants it a certain way. This is part of a negotiation. I don't think the fact that Notre Dame's won more games recently makes it USC can't ask for something different. At the end of the day, USC is in the Big Ten and has a whole bunch of games where this matters. They play a whole bunch of these no matter what. Notre Dame doesn't. They have to figure those out every year.
With
Now,
other leagues going to the 10 game where you got to play a helmet game, a power conference game, Chuck and
well, the
Texas
ACC is going to be one of them.
And so is the SEC, so they'll get plenty of
The
opportunities.
ACC, they already play this.
So add another one.
No, but I don't know if a lot of SEC teams, where they're going to have to play 9 games, they don't like that anyway. They're going to add, let's add Purdue. We're not going to add Indiana. Like, let's pick a team in Indiana, just not Notre Dame, you know?
Maybe it's Mississippi State, and that's not quite the helmet game that USC is, but
You wanna
they
play
can replace
Mississippi?
the game is the point.
They can, but they can't replace it with this. Notre Dame has this, USC has this, Penn State has this, Ohio State, Alabama. Those are the ones you want to have on your schedule. Notre Dame having a helmet game every year is very, very beneficial. USC having the game with Notre Dame is very, very beneficial. But if it goes away, USC still has a bunch of those, and Notre Dame doesn't. So, yes. It's not about who's won more games,
But them
who's
not
bullying
having-
who.
Keep-
It's about
keep the
negotiation.
games.
But
Yeah.
them not having it, I don't think really has any impact on
So,
their
Connor,
playoff
the one thing we've
chances.
established is you're completely wrong on this. And
Why?
since I'm the boss man, because you're wrong. Because they need this game. They need this helmet. You can't. Mississippi State doesn't replace this. Like, can't you understand that?
I get it, but what if they beat Mississippi State and they go 11-1? They're going to the playoff. If they go 10-2, they're probably going to the playoff, even with an easy schedule.
Okay, so they have their own TV deal. What do you think NBC wants?
Money?
Notre Dame game with USC
But they-
or Notre Dame with Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Like
USC.
They
But
don't
people
want
are
that.
watching regardless. Are they still the biggest brand? Like, they're a huge brand. Like, that's
They're
why
a
they
big
have their
brand.
own.
But if you're not playing anybody every year, like, this is a part of the lore.
But what I'm saying is the ACC, like, they'll
Okay,
get someone.
We're gonna move on. Yeah, just tell him he's wrong, and we're moving.
I think
on.
you're wrong.
You can mute him. You want to mute
I don't even
channel
know how to
3.
do that.
It's the button on channel 3. That's okay. Yeah.
right, we got a question.
Hold on, timeout in the chat. Connor is absolutely wrong. Next comment. Connor's 100% right. So at least the chat's divided too.
Do you think we have any chance? This is from Trojan. Do you think we have any chance to win the Big Ten championship since Indiana and Ohio State don't play each other? Neither has any tough games left, and both beat Illinois, who beat us.
I don't think this is a Big Ten championship type of year. This is a try to make the college football playoff year. I think that's where the focus should be. And if you can beat Notre Dame on the road or beat Oregon on the road, you split that game, then I think you have a really good chance of going to the college football playoff.
I agree. This is more about the college football playoff than winning the Big Ten. The fact that they have the early loss to Illinois definitely hurts, but I mean, I don't think it's a 0% chance. I don't think it's likely, but yeah, I'd focus more on the playoff than winning the Big Ten. That would just be gravy if you did win the Big Ten. I struggle to see a path, though, when you still got to go to Oregon.
Yeah.
Quick thing before the next question. So Mike says, this is great, two good football minds going at it. This is what it's about.
Well, a lot of the chat doesn't want to hear about this anymore. So most of them are saying you're wrong, but they just want to move on. So we'll just move on.
I'm happy to see these comments, but I'm not.
Yeah.
They'll still continue to do what they do.
No more.
Game.
You have to stop.
And if
you're wrong, and we have to stop. So that's the thing.
And USC, if they lose Notre Dame, they'll keep doing what they're doing.
Mute them.
Question from Justin Garrett. Has Urlacher played much this season, or is he kind of low on the depth chart?
Plays on special teams, played a little bit against Illinois at safety when Ramsey was out, but I don't think he got on the field defensively against Michigan. He is lower on the depth chart, a safety for the future, but a key special teams guy.
Awesome. Last question of the night. Dodgers get it done this weekend?
Are they up 3-0?
I think so. They can't
today,
lose
right?
all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think they played today. I don't know if they won or not.
Yeah, I think they won today.
Yeah, they won 3-1, so they're a game away from the World Series, right?
Oh,
yeah, I think that's it, right?
Who's left?
Quick rant on the Dodgers all season long. My Twitter, their bullpen, they stink, they're not good, they're not good. And then they're about to sweep the Brewers to go to the World Series. Like,
The starting pitching's been crazy good. Yeah.
God, but like baseball, there's ups, there's downs. Everyone I talk to, they're not this year. They have so many good players. How could people not think that, maybe they'll get it figured out in time for the playoffs? I wanted to say that in the moment. I didn't, so I guess I'm saying it too late. But, like, the team is stacked. It's not a surprise to me at all that they're here.
Yeah.
You talked to a Dodger fan a couple of months ago, our bullpen is terrible. We have no shot. Well, looks like you got a pretty good shot to me.
Yeah.
That's all we got on the questions.
Sweet.
Got to do score predictions.
Score predictions. Oh, I got to pull mine up. I don't even remember what I said.
That's okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to be the optimistic one here. I do feel like could USC go out there and look sort of like the Illinois where they're just not kind of doing everything right, and even though in that game they only punted one time, they had a couple turnovers. I don't think USC is going to survive if Jade Mava throws a couple of picks. Certainly not 200-yard pick sixes like what we saw last year, but he's seen Notre Dame. I feel like his confidence is high. I feel like the defense has made some strides in the right direction, and they don't have to be elite. The defense just can't be a sieve, and I don't think they're going to be a sieve. But the best unit in this game is USC's offense. Even with the injuries, you've seen the
even with the weather.
Even with the weather, even if rain falls from the sky, I think they're going to be able to score a bunch of points. So I'm going to take USC, get in the 30s. I think it's going to be like a 34-31 game, and the Trojans get the upset in South Bend, and the first win since 2011.
I think this one goes back and forth, really tight. I just think Notre Dame makes one more play at the end. I think they win 29-28. Really close game.
Okay.
But could go either way.
I said Notre Dame 31-27, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Trojans win. But I think Notre Dame at home, energy of the crowd. I think our offense will be fine. I think Lemon will be great. Maava would be great. I think a depleted running back room might hurt us a little bit, and the weather a little bit. And, I think Notre Dame is probably going to pull it off. But it's definitely not going to be a 10-point, 9.5-point game at all.
Yeah,
I think
none of us are taking
We're all picking the cover. Any idea why it's the way it is.
So
I think the first caller hit on it. Like, they maybe think Michigan is not as good. That's the only thing I can think of, because USC's been way better than to be a 9.5 point dog.
It's not necessarily what like the sharps think the line should be. It's what the public is reacting to,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of money on the Notre Dame side, which not necessarily sharp money, but more. And USC benefits from that sometimes too, where they're getting it's USC versus a scrub. Like this is more.
But then, wouldn't you think sharp money would pour into USC?
You would think so, but it's not. And sometimes Vegas, like this is one from watching both teams. Unless you just feel like Notre Dame was just bad defensively for 2.5 games, and then now they're elite. This is an elite offense. It really is. Like no one's, you've little dents in the armor, but no one's like stopped them. And maybe Notre Dame is, if Notre Dame does, and they're like pulling out, 3 and outs or something, like something, I think that's USC is like 3 and outs like all year. Like there's not, it would have to take something like that, I think, or just USC can't get any stops whatsoever. But I think the defense has turned the corner a little bit, and they'll do enough. It's a bendy but don't break kind of thing. You can't do what you did against Illinois, where they're just never getting slowed down and punted one time in the damn game. But I feel like this USC offense is really, really good. And even with a couple of running backs out, King Miller getting his very first start, likely, in South Bend.
I'm a King Miller fan.
How can you not be?
Yeah, the dude just, to put spin moves on like those Michigan guys. Like
Multiple times.
When you're like, whatever, you're Sharon Moore and you're like watching film and stuff, it sucks. Like, and if you remember like the LSU game last year and hearing from the dude that's now like on Barstool, he was, I forget, he did that show. It was hilarious. Just talking about, oh crap, I forget his name, but I think he's on a Barstool show now, but he just went off on how he was so upset, like this wussy California school, like pushed him around and all this stuff. They hated getting like out physicaled by like a California school, that's soft or whatever. And Michigan obviously hated that. The talk leading into it is like, we're tough and blah, blah, blah. And you get pushed around by USC, but you also got run all over by a walk. It wasn't even just like some Reggie Bush, 5-star athlete from San Diego that just ran all over. This was a walk-on that spin moves and averaging 10 yards a carry on. Like, what is going on? So that has to be a little more like pain in in your back, just knowing that it was just a walk-on that ran all over you. So he gets his first start in South Bend. We'll see how he does.
Are you talking about Dave Portnoy?
No, that wasn't Portnoy. T-Bob or something like that. Remember there was like a show, like a LSU show. We were watching it. It was hilarious.
Oh,
T-Bob
yes.
something. And I think he might be with Barstool now.
Okay.
No. Portnoy was crying in his...
Yeah, it's like, Portnoy.
Yeah, he was crying in his soup or whatever for... after the Michigan game, because he's a Michigan guy. No, this is like T-Bob or something, and he was just like swearing up a storm. Like we were sending this around after the LSU. It was like, it was.
Somebody said Brendan Walker.
No.
Oh.
T-Bob Herbert. Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
there you go.
Yeah, I knew it was some like super Southern name. Like T-Bob is like that's about as Southern as it gets, right? So
I want no penalties. I want no defensive penalties. Not a lot. Clean game. Maybe they'll get it done.
That helped a ton against Michigan.
Totally.
Like not having
and on the road again.
0 first downs allowed by penalty.
Can't have a shit ton of penalties.
Is he on Barstool now, T-Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice call. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. Do you remember? We were listening after.
I didn't know that was him, but yeah, that.
It was so funny. Like he was just going. Like it was like a fan who was drunk in Vegas, just screamed like because they lost their opener. That was like their 4th year in a row, and he just every year he's like he was just going off, swearing up a storm, and it was like on the radio. This was on like radio in Louisiana somewhere, Baton Rouge or New Orleans or whatever, and it was just
funny.
Yeah, I think it was on the radio, but it was the radio station thing that he was a part of, and just like screaming and going off on it, and then they realized like, oh crap, and we play Clemson next year, but they end up getting the win, so they didn't. Their opener streak was done, but he was so upset, and Portnoy's was just like a 2-minute version. This was like an hour of just going off. It was pretty funny.
Anyway, that's it, right?
I think that's it. What time? Oh, we did like an hour and 20 minutes
Yeah.
and stuff. We have a 6:30 a.m. flight tomorrow, so we got stuff to do. War room stuff to write. I got to edit this podcast. We got a lot, and then
Got a lot to do. Got to go have a fist fight in the parking lot. Me and you.
Yeah,
I'll film it, put it on YouTube story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's going to wrap it up. India, appreciate you running point again.
Of course,
India.
always.
Automatic.
Yep. I should have worn my ring that I got today.
So what? Tell everyone
Huge.
what's the ring?
We women's basketball team. We got a ring for our 2025 regular season championship of last year, and then Elite Eight, going to Elite Eight again, and it was like a combined ring celebrating both, and it's huge. I should have brought it in and showed it, but next time.
Nice. Well, congrats on
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you definitely
Two rings in a row.
show off the bling.
I know. I will. I'll bring it next time.
All right. Well, USC fans, if you're going to be in Chicago Friday, Theory, 6 p.m., we're going to do, this should be a lot bigger than the one we did for Illinois. And
Ryan's buying all the drinks.
No, not doing that. You can buy us drinks if you want. That's fine. I won't buy Connor's drinks. You still can buy. If you agree that Notre Dame doesn't need this game and his bull crap take, then you can buy him a drink. Otherwise, yeah, I'll buy you one if you come up to me and say that I was right. That's fine. That sounds good. But yeah, be there. Colin Coward came to the last one. He's told me he's a maybe this time, so maybe he'll show up again. He's living in Chicago now, so
The legend.
yeah. So it was fun to see him out there at the event. He likes talking USC football, so come out and check it out. Theory Bar, downtown Chicago, 6 p.m. on Friday. But that's going to wrap it up for us. India Otto, Connor Morrissette, I'm Ryan Abraham. Hope you enjoyed the show.